It's Google's 10th generation for the Pixel lineup, and here is the Google Pixel 10 Pro XL. There are quite a lot of upgrades under the hood. There are also some upgrades that I think make a huge difference compared to the Pixel 9, so let's talk about it. Remember to hit that like and subscribe button, and do watch our full gaming test video for the Pixel 10 Pro XL at the top right corner there as well. This phone has a really long name. And I want to start by talking about the performance first. Powered by the new Tensor G5 chipset that is fabricated by TSMC's 3nm process node, has a rather funky CPU core configuration and a GPU that I personally have never heard of. It's designed by Imagination Technologies, and they have worked together with Apple before this for many years. And I think they're still working together in some of the other projects. I'm not too sure. Now, with the switch over to TSMC, how much did it actually improve? Does it actually matter? Well, kind of, but not really. You see, the Tensor G5 is indeed more powerful than before, and that is to be expected given that it's a new generation of hardware. Also, do remember that Pixel phones are never meant for gaming, and we are only doing this for fun due to my own curiosity. However, the power consumption is quite crazy here. We tested Genshin Impact at the highest graphical settings, and while it did run around 40 FPS at first, it was drawing around 10 watts of power. 10 watts is crazy for a mobile device, and we can get 60 FPS for around 50% of the power consumption on other flagship chipsets. Since it is consuming 10 watts of power, it will definitely thermal throttle and the frame rate will tank down to around 25 FPS with the power draw at around 5 watts. I mean, the frame rate gradually drops, so it's better than having one big dip like some other devices that we've tested before, but the efficiency of the Pixel 10 Pro XL is just not that good for gaming. For Zenozone Zero, we decided to go for Deadly Assault this time, and it had some shader caching issues and it did slow down the game to a standstill for a few seconds before decided to work again. So we decided to do the same Deadly Assault for the second time, and it was a lot smoother, and that is of course due to the shader caching, because if you do the thing for the first time, it stutters, and then if you do the same thing for the second time, it will be a lot smoother. It is mostly at around 30 FPS, and it is, I think, quite good. It didn't have any major frame rate fluctuations barring the shader caching issue, and I can complete the Deadly Assault challenge without issues except for my own skill issue. As for Wuthering Waves, I personally will say that it is unplayable at this point in time. It stutters badly and it had a lot of misfired inputs. I'm not sure if it is indeed due to the shader caching or not, because sometimes when I redo the same action for the second time, it was smooth, but some other time it's still stuttery. One thing I can tell you for sure though, for an open world game like this, it is impossible to cache all of the shaders. So that is why I'm saying that it's unplayable. Overall, I'd say that the Tensor G5 has indeed improved over the previous generation, but in terms of raw performance, it still has a lot of catching up to do. Partly due to the way that it consumes way too much power and thermal throttles within minutes. And remember, TSMC isn't just some magical company that will solve all of the issues by switching to them, so there you have it. But how's the battery life when we are not gaming? Surprisingly, it's quite good and on par with other flagship chipsets of the current generation. With its 5200 mAh battery, it can reach nearly 16 hours in our standardized battery life test. It, of course, with this number, can comfortably last you throughout one full day of usage. Another point of contention is the charging speed, which I think is perfectly fine as well. On paper, the Pixel 10 Pro XL can take in 45 watts via USB PD PPS, and it can take around 73 minutes to charge from 15% to completion. Google is actually very conservative here, as the thermal limit for the battery is only at 40 degrees Celsius, and that is why the charging speed is at most 33 watts maximum, even though it supports up to 45 watts. We also have Pixel Snap, which is basically Google's way of saying that it supports Qi 2.2 wireless chargers with the magnets built into the phone to quickly align the device to hold all the accessories together. More details about this Ugreen Qi 2.2 wireless charger coming soon, by the way. It's actually a very good piece of accessory. And since this is the XL variant of the Pixel 10 Pro, we have a large 6.8-inch Super Actua display, which is an OLED panel, and a resolution of 2992 by 1344 pixels. There are actually two modes. We can either go for 1080p or the native resolution and up to 120Hz refresh rate as well. When we did our colorimeter test, the Pixel 10 Pro XL can reach up to 1900 nits in auto brightness mode, and I think this is one of, if not the brightest display that we have seen so far. The color accuracy though is a bit weird. There are no separate color profiles to choose from, so at most, what we can get is 98% of sRGB and around 78% of DCI-P3 color gamut coverage. Again, not the best, but I really do believe that we can push the color gamut coverage up higher through software tuning. Now, the Pixel experience is all about the software and features. It's running on Android 16 and it is supremely smooth to use and navigate around. Again, if you're not gaming, then the Tensor G5 is not an issue at all. I mean, it's not an issue for me either. And there's a lot of new features packed into the Pixel 10 series. First, we can tell it to do some stuff with other Google apps, and it has some deep level of integration too. For example, we can tell it to add a calendar entry for a trip and add a note to convert some cash beforehand, for example.
I can add a calendar entry for your trip to Taiwan on October 29th with the notes, I need to convert the currency. What time should I set for this entry?
9 AM. One of the best new features is Gemini Live. It is not activated through Circle to Search, but activated by holding the power button. It has a very similar interface, by the way, so I was confused about it at first. But tapping on this button, we can activate Gemini Live and start talking to it. We can then also press this button to bring up the camera and ask it stuff like, "May I know what's this?" And it will start describing what it sees. It's crazy good, and it's already available in some of the other phones, by the way. With that said, let's now talk about the cameras as well. Of course, the cameras is a big part of the Pixel experience, and we have some high-resolution sensors here, alongside PDAF and OIS for all cameras. One thing that I like about Pixel cameras is how easy it is to actually use. It's literally a point and shoot experience, and 99% of the time, the image turns out good. Seriously, before I show you any images, look at this first. The pictures change a lot when the post-processing is done. I mean, be it indoors or outdoors, day or night, the pictures still look amazing, though sometimes it's very weird. You see, the Pixel 10 Pro XL has macro focus mode. However, I would like to also disable the auto lens switching feature because I just don't like that feature a lot. Begrudgingly though, I have to enable auto lens switching feature to enable macro focus. Then when I tried to take this kind of close-up pictures, I got a lot of failures. Eventually, I was able to take one good shot, and it took me a lot of attempts. So Google, I don't think you're gonna watch this video, but if you are, then please let us turn off the auto lens switching feature and also turn on macro at the same time. All of these hardware and features are packed into this design of a phone. I find it to be super clean and premium to look and feel in the hands, but the glossy frame is not something that I personally like. Also, the power button is still placed below the volume rocker. So yeah, that is one of my biggest gripe because I keep pressing the power button when I try to change the volume. Yeah. Honestly, it basically looks like the previous generation Pixel 9 series, but the color options this time is a lot better. This new jade color is very relaxing to look at, and the new moonstone color is stunning. The camera bump might look problematic at first, but it is purposely made this way to get out of the way of the Pixel Snap accessories. Pixel Snap is compatible with Qi 2.2 and all of the other MagSafe accessories as well, so that is great, honestly. Cross-compatibility between all accessories means more choices for us consumers to buy. And a few more things to mention here, the Google Pixel 10 Pro XL is using a USB 3.0 port at the bottom of the phone, and it also supports display mirroring too. It also has a single SIM card slot, but it does have eSIM support as well, and also IP68 water and dust resistance. So the question then becomes, should you buy the Google Pixel 10 Pro XL? I think it really depends on you. Again, anyone looking to buy this phone should not be a heavy mobile gamer, and then this phone will be just perfect for you. The way Google made this phone is to make it so simple to the point that even a toddler can just take this phone and shoot some beautiful pics since it's just a point-and-click camera. The battery life is actually on par with some of the others that are in the market right now, and it also has Google's best features built in. At the price of 5,999 ringgit Malaysia though, it is still an amazing phone, but the price tag is way too high, I would say. So that's all that we have to share with you here today about the new Google Pixel 10 Pro XL. Do let us know, what do you think about it? Will you buy it or will you not? Leave all of your thoughts down in the comment section below, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Yeah.